Transmitting from the beating heart of Las Vegas, it's a dry heat. This is City of Writers Radio, a weekly podcast celebrating the oral delivery of the written word. Now here's your host, Guilliean Pacheco of Writeropolis Industries. Let's get to it.
News flash, the nation of Effra has announced that they will now be using pigs as money. The Eastern European nation of Effra has announced the passing of legislation to use pigs as their national currency. When asked, farmer Pacheco wholeheartedly agreed with the government's decision. Our British correspondent Brian Jones reports.
We do not have much need for paper money. But pigs, we have a lot of. Perfect sense. When the Soviets were here, we used cigarettes and American money. Now we are more stable, we have much livestock. So to use pigs is very smart.
A blip in the stable of the Soviet Union's communist regime, Effra was a country that boasted untapped potential and quickly established itself as an independent nation. They suffered from hyperinflation for nearly a decade after the fall of the Soviet Union. Their main export in the late 1980s and early 1990s was their talent, as young people chose to move abroad for better opportunities. Their agricultural identity is strong, made of ethnic Albanians and converted Muslims escaping religious persecutions in the neighboring countries of Crosshead and Deford.
Are you worried about getting your message out to the world? Now's the time to chat with Guilliean Pacheco of Writeropolis Industries. She's ready and willing to help you turn your business dreams into reality. She's experienced in business correspondence, SEO, and more. Everyone has a story to tell, so let's do it together. Visit writeropolis.com/link in bio, all one word, to begin.
During the mid to late 1990s, Effra put their fragile economy on the right track when Canadian computer hardware company BRF Computers Incorporated bought 65% of the land in the 1,000 square miles nation. This shocking move shook up the environmental community worldwide. Amid an international environmental demonstration in 2001, BRF proved that they would help improve living and working conditions for most of the remaining residents through their corporate eminent domain pilot program. Residents of the tiny nation chose to stay and work in BRF's manufacturing factories or use the money to support their relocations abroad. Our English correspondent Amy Waterman spoke to resident Andrea Baran-Cha.
We were very scared when BRF came to Effra. But now my eldest daughters Annika and Eleanor work as receptionists for the factory. We are thrilled with our lives now.
Like Baran-Cha, the majority of their residents chose to stay. Most families had roots starting several generations back and were not keen on uprooting their lifestyle. BRF spokesman David Vanucci said that the company was
admittedly surprised
by the decision of their host country's lawmakers to convert to pigs as currency, but agreed to honor it.
BRF has been committed from day one to the economic stability of Effra. If that means paying for our workers' paychecks using pigs, then we're all in.
Do you want your ad to air on a future episode of City of Writers Radio? Now's the time to support your small business journey. Load up writeropolis.com/link in bio, all one word, in your browser to get started.
Effra's lawmakers ran a public awareness campaign for residents to relinquish their paper and coin currency to the Bank of Effra to ensure maximum coverage of their announcement. The translated advertising slogan stated, "Trade your money for your pig now." Amy Waterman spoke to Councilman Ronald Kooning, who noted,
The promotional campaign has already had an enormous effect. More than 45% of Effra-nites have voluntarily turned in their legal tender by our last tally. Our deadline for conversion isn't for another month, so we're on the right track. We hope to use the money to import more pigs to cover the costs it will take to reorganize the monetary system.
Effra's decision to change the provenance of their currency has caught the eye of several international think tanks. For example, the Micronesian island of Yap uses large limestone wheels as their primary provenance of coin and has done so for 2,000 years. Polly Flowers of the US-based Lang Foundation said Monday that,
"Obviously in America, we couldn't do that. But maybe it will encourage other small countries to rethink and perhaps revamp their currency system.
This breaking news brief is brought to you by Writeropolis Industries, creativity by design. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Matthew Pacheco with WRTR, stories that count from people who care. See you next time.
Thanks for joining us this week on the City of Writers Radio podcast with your host, Guilliean Pacheco. Make sure to visit our website at writeropolis.com/podcast, where you can subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or your favorite podcatcher, so that you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in City of Writers Radio, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Check out Writeropolis Industries for all your writing and editing needs. Be sure to tune in next week for another generous helping of creativity to nourish your soul. Until then, love, peace, and adobo grease.